doing? How you doing, Coach? Appreciate your time and just taking the time out in regards to talking to the association. I'm Brandon Joseph. I'm a coach at Carmen Northwest.
Okay.
I'm the vice president of CCA City Coaches Association.
Yep.
And when Coach Riley told me you wanted to be a part of this, I frankly was very excited. So I'm gonna let the roll call go. I'm gonna let the roll call go, and I'm gonna ask that everybody goes mute after this. And also excuse my son; he's in the back, and I had to get his medicine. But excuse that.
No problem at all. Appreciate it.
Coach Baldwin, Donald Nelson, president of the CCA, former 17-year-old girls coach in the city of Milwaukee, Rufus King and Riverside, right around the corner. Alumni UWM 99. So
Absolutely.
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers. Appreciate you being on.
Coach, you already know me, Fred Riley, head coach of Washington High School, on the board of directors, a member of the CCA, and we're excited to have you here today.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hey, Coach Pat, Calvin Raver here, head coach of Barack Obama, 5th year, and player development of the CCA.
Absolutely.
Coach Agape Keys, Milwaukee Academy of Science, going into my 15th year. Also on the board of the CCA, in charge of events.
Great. Saw you earlier.
What's up, coaches? Rob Robertson. I'm a varsity assistant at Milwaukee Hamilton High School. I'm one of the directors of marketing for the CCA. Good to have you.
Thank
also,
you.
alumni UWM too, by the way.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Coach? This is Aaron Smith. I'm assistant coach over at Carmen Northwest. I'm also a member of the board of directors of the CCA. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Glad to be on.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? It's Ravante Dancer, head boys basketball coach at Milwaukee Vincent, board member for the CCA, in charge of helping with player development and coaching. And I believe we met before. I know you said you know Coach Kevin Muff.
Yeah.
My coach at Cloud. Yeah, I love Coach Muff. So thanks for taking the time out.
What years were you there?
I was there from 96 to 99.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yep, thanks for taking the time out.
No, I appreciate it, Ravante.
Hi, I'm Coach Ashley Burts at Vincent High School for the girls program. I'm going into my 3rd year. I'm the first female head coach there as well. I am on the director's board. I'm just doing what I need to do right now. Wherever they need me, I'm helping and willing to get it done.
No, I appreciate you. Thanks for being on. You're on mute.
Rachel.
I'm sorry. Hey, Coach, how you doing? I'm Coach Story from Milwaukee Marshall. I'm going into my 3rd year, board of directors. I'm here helping with skill and development. And thank you for being a part of us today.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for allowing me to come on to be with you all.
All right, Daryl Longley, coach at Milwaukee Bayview, 5th year, board of directors, CCA, helps out director of events.
Very good. Appreciate having you on.
All right, Coach. We want to kind of start this with quick Q&A. I know you had some questions for us as well, but I know Coach Rowley, Coach Dancer has some remarkable questions for you, and I would like to ask Director Dassler first to ask the questions that he had that can actually start this dialogue off. You hear me, Tay?
Yeah, he might have stepped away because so he might got to start with Freddie.
Coach Riley, let's dip into the questions that you had.
My fault.
Oh, okay. You back on. Say them all.
Yeah, I didn't know I was on mute. No, Coach, I just want to know what message are you delivering to your players during this difficult time?
You know, the message that I'm delivering to our guys is just be ready. And as tough as it is, not being able to be around them during the spring, not being able to bring them in. Typically, we would try to start bringing our guys in around June 25th. So the onus is going to be on them to make sure that they're in shape, to make sure they're doing all the things that we're asking them to do. And part of that is, part of being in shape is eating right. And we have our strength conditioning coach who talks to them about what they need to be eating and putting into their bodies. Their bodies are certainly their temples, and they have to fuel it the right way. And the other side of that is just the strength and conditioning and running. We were able to provide them with some weights and stuff like that, but just be ready. And we told them the teams that are going to win in March next year, if we're able to get to it, are the teams that spent this time right now preparing themselves, mentally, physically, all of those things. So, that's the most important thing. And then we do things like this on Zoom where we bring in, we've had Luol Deng come on with our guys. We've had Damon Lillard, whom I recruited, back in the day when he was in high school. He came on last week and talked to our guys. We had Leroy Butler on. So, I mean, those are little things that we try to do, not only just to keep them motivated, but talk to them about what it takes to win and what that locker room looks like. So this is a crucial time for us, and I'm sure for everybody.
Wait, that takes me to our second question. You just touched on it briefly. You all have a specific workout plan that you've developed and sent out to the players?
Yeah, I think we have a really good strength and conditioning coach, and we have 7 new guys coming in along with our 7 returning guys. So in order to put that group together, we all need to be in sync. So I'm constantly meeting with our strength and conditioning coach on our program, and prior to all of this going on, before school shut down, we met with each player individually on what they needed to do in order to get better from a strength and physical standpoint. And then once we did that, we also, once we now had to be at home in this stay-at-home deal, we met with them virtually and talked to them about their body, whether they needed to gain weight, lose weight, what type of conditioning program that they were going to have. So we do have a program in place. It's kind of scaled just because they don't have all of the amenities or resources that they need in order to fully do everything. But the main thing that they have as their resources, their mind, and their mind should be telling them, let's get to work, let's run, let's get out, and let's commit to that. And we have a lot of guys that are committed to running and getting in shape and all that. So I mean, that's a huge part of our strength conditioning program this summer and this spring was definitely running and staying in shape and getting in even better shape. We talked to Tijon. Tijon played around 35 minutes a game for us this past year. And, I thought towards the end of the season, he started losing a little bit in his tank. So he's going to have to be in even better shape than he was last year. So, the things we're asking him to do with his body, cutting out, some of the things that he's eating that can interrupt performance. We're asking him to do that stuff. And I know we talk a lot about them getting strong.
I know you had a couple of questions that were very intricate in regards to like the development of coaches and players within UWM that you can ask right now.
Oh,
Well,
Bijo, he was Coach Pat was talking at the time.
Oh, I was paused. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Coach Pat.
No problem. Yeah, I was just finishing off on Tijon. We were talking about him, getting stronger. But I think the thing he needs to do too is lose a little bit more weight, get quicker. And I think he's going to have a sensational last year with us, and he already propelled us to to a new level, new standard last year. So I'm looking forward to to seeing him in his final year.
I had a question, Coach, in regards to it, kind of just piggybacking off what you were just saying, the workout, the dieting, and just from, if you could quick answer it, how important is that it translate from what they're doing in their diet, what they're doing in their workouts, into their performance in the upcoming season? How important that is?
And it's so important. And, I remember, Calvin, you went through it too. A lot of you guys are former players too. You understand. I remember coming up, and I'm 6'2", back in the day, I was probably 215 at my maximum weight playing the point guard spot. And, playing in the Big Ten, having to guard Calbert Cheneys and Jimmy Jackson, guys like that, I needed to be stronger. But, I found that wasn't an optimum weight for me, and I needed to drop, probably 5 pounds. I was naturally just strong and big, so, I dropped about 5 pounds, and that made me a little bit more quick. But the thing that I needed to do, and here's the thing that I didn't understand, is, I went from staying in the dorms, eating right, and having everything that I needed. And I was always really conscious of my body and what I put into it. And then my sophomore year, I decided to move off campus, and I just lost everything that I had worked on for an entire year. And my performance, I wouldn't say it went down, but I had some injuries, and then, lost the rest of my sophomore year to an injury. And I think a lot of it had to do with my diet and what I was putting into my body. In turn, what I was doing physically. I was playing about 38 minutes a game, and I couldn't survive doing that. And so I moved back into the dorm my junior year, got back straight, and had a really good junior year. And so I know how important that is. So for our guys, and I was telling you that we talked to, had Damon Lillard on. He talked about as much, our vices. We all have vices. I love to snack. I love, my candies and all that stuff, and some of our guys do as well. But he says he loves lemonade. He loves all the stuff that we all love, but he can't do it if he wants to perform at a high level. And for him, a high level, he hasn't gotten it yet, but is a championship level. So he has to be disciplined. He has to, and that's what we talk to our guys about all the time, is the discipline. We have a young man on our team, Josh Thomas, that he's a big body kid, about 6'3", 6'4", about 210, and we told him he needs to tighten up his body. So he's put away we all know it. He was a Kool-Aid man. He's throwing away the Kool-Aid. He's walking around with a jug of water, and that's half the battle. And then what he's eating, that's going to be something that is critical for him as well. But all of that's really important.
Is that something, Coach, that you expect of your staff as well?
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. I know I have my schedule of my workout every single day, and I fall short of it. I know I do, but we have to have discipline as a staff too. And you'll find our staff going around and either walking or running, whatever they can do, getting in the weight room, but also what we're eating. And we'll come into the office, and somebody will have they tease me because I'm always usually just have a salad, or when they want to go out for lunch, I'm saying, no, I'm good. I'm just going to stay back and work. So I don't get teased by the by the food out, at the union or anything like that. So that's something that we talk about as a staff, because if we do it as a staff, we have to, and we talk about it with our team, we have to, follow up and do that as well.
Great answers, Coach. I think we can definitely utilize those in our own areas of development and within our programs. But something that I always wanted to know, and I think in our vision and mission for this program, what we wanted to know, how can a collective group like this of girls and boys coaches in the city help you? help UWM? How can we help you?
Yeah, when I first got the job, my main thing was, have an inside out approach. And that inside out approach was, try to get as many kids as we can locally into UWM and keep them at home. And I think that if we do that and if we're successful, then Panther Arena would look like it would right behind me. And, so that's really important. Now, it doesn't always work that way. We really tried hard in when I first got the job, there were no scholarships. I got it June 20th. So at that point, everybody was accounted for. We were starting summer school. We had no scholarships, to offer anybody from the area. So we didn't have any kids, from Milwaukee. So, that next year we were really trying to catch up and get the best kids we can possibly get into from the area. And, so that was one of the things that I told our staff that we wanted to do. And we did that by hiring, Terrence McGee, a Milwaukee native that, has a in the city and obviously played in the city league. And so he's done a great job for us in locating and trying to get the best we possibly can. Now, here's the thing that I want, and some people may think I'm crazy, but I want whatever you think of them. It doesn't matter. I want a Michael Foster. I want Patrick Baldwin. I want James Graham. I want those kids to stay home. That's what I want. That's what I would hope. And I asked them all, what do they think of Gonzaga and Butler before they became those teams? They're all mid-major programs, exception for Butler going to the Big East. Gonzaga's a mid-major program, and they're getting 3 and 4 stars, and kids like that. Why can't we be the same way? Why can't we have those kids that in my opinion don't see Marquette and Wisconsin as an option? Why can't Milwaukee be that option for them and have your people rooting you on every single day and representing for your city?
Picture perfect answer, Coach. I mean, shoot, you got me ready to. Hopefully, they give me some eligibility back so I can come and sweat something for you and slap the ground and sweat something with T-John and Kaleem in the back. No, I'm just playing. But honestly, though, Coach, that's exactly I think what when our blood pumps, it pumps throughout the association is our city. That's really the nitty gritty and the surrounding areas. So my next question is in regards to that. What barriers do you have in regards to what barriers does the city or are there any barriers in regards to the city versus you recruiting from the city and the suburbs and other states? Is there any barriers so we can effectively help those barriers out? That's what we need to know as an association.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you have is just perception. Is what is Milwaukee compared to, Wisconsin or Marquette, or if we're trying to recruit at the highest level that we possibly can. So, that's perception. The thing I know that we do, even though we're a mid-major program, we operate like we're a high major from the standpoint of how we train, how, we have a full-time nutritionist. We have, our strength conditioning program, I think is really good. And, we're definitely trying to get those type of players that can compete at a high level. And that's taken us some time. The transfer situation doesn't help with that, but it's, we're slowly building this thing the right way. But, I think the one barrier that, kids just want to play for the most part, they want to try to get to the highest level that they possibly can get to. And, and Dame Lillard was a perfect example for me that, when I talked with him and I recruited, OG Anunoby, who's with Toronto and guys like that are in the league, there are guys that, those are guys that weren't recruited, at a high level, but they still were able to make their mark into the NBA. And that's the thing that I say is like, it doesn't matter where you go. If you got game, they're going to recognize you anywhere. Maybe some would say it's easier, but you still need to be out on the floor. You need to prove it, and you need to get that stuff done. So the barrier that I just have to get through is, I need that one blue chip kid, hopefully, my own will come and follow, follow me along with somebody else that, around the area that, that wants to turn this place upside down. They'll come with me. So, once we figure that and get over that barrier, I think that, the rest is history after that.
Thanks a lot, Coach Baldwin, for your response. Our president has a question right now.
Okay, appreciate it.
Coach, I was wondering, with us being an association starting out right now that's been needed in this city ever since probably the 50s or 60s, that we finally got it off the ground, being grassroots. We know a lot of the problems stem from these children not being eligible and not ready, because on the high school side, we're giving them, shelter, clothing, educational supplements, making sure they get to school, home from school, pick them up from jail, whatever we got to do, take the blunt out their mouth, all of that. How can we get more of our men and young ladies to be ready to be a recruit for, a low major, mid major, a high major? Will it be something where we partner with the AAU programs in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade to make it all one thing, where we give and take from each other? What do you see as a solution to try to, get us all on the same page, that these kids can come out, and if it's JUCO is their route, and there's no problem with it, but to get some of them ready to go right away from senior year in high school to freshman year on campus?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I just posted something the other day on Twitter that it takes a village. We all know the phrase, it takes a village to raise our kids. And, I think it starts when they're younger, having those, positive role models, and certainly you guys are that for them. You've been through it. You understand, whether it's pitfalls, you understand the success that they can have. And yeah, there might be, times that they have, kids have to go to the junior college route, and maybe that's the best for them, just so they can stay hungry and get to where they want to be. But I think it just starts at a younger age, that we, get, the kids that, whether it's, the Boys and Girls Club and what you guys are doing, is it some type of, I'm not in this thing for the money, but is it some type of camp that we, provide for these kids, where they see that there's, guys like and gals like you guys that want to help kids get through the system, see positive role models, but also, some of the educational side of it too. My motto that I always use is, if you can pass, you can play. And, and that goes that's academic and basketball. If you can pass, you can play with your books. And then if you can pass on the court, you can play as well. That's something that I really feel is important. But, I just think it's, we have 12 or 13 people on right now. I always say, bring one more. And I think that's how this whole thing builds. It's like the Million Man March. Once the word got out, one person became 2, 4, 4, 8, and so on and so forth. And it just became this huge deal throughout the we have an opportunity within Milwaukee to build that for kids that are, in 3rd and 4th grade. And then when they get to 7th and 8th grade, they can remember, man, Coach, I remember you talking to us about, or working with us on this move, or talking about, some guys that were able to make it through. Now I'm in their shoes, and all of that. It just takes that. And, obviously we all know that, the system is a little bit broke from an educational standpoint. We gotta help these kids as much as possible. And that comes from the resources that the state gives us in order to provide for these kids. So I think there's a full gamut of things that we need to, cover to try to help these kids. But whatever route they go, junior college or straight through, there's a great avenue for them. We just got to help them as much as we can.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate that answer, Coach. We got a couple more questions. We got our director of marketing and our director of player development right after him. So, Rob, you up?
Coach, you kind of answered my question. I was really just going to ask you what type of player, in terms of your offense and your program, that you're looking for. But you kind of answered that a little bit, but I got a kind of like a funny thing. We talk about this all the time. You got a top 5 player in your class who happens to be your son, who you also recruiting. Who do you talk to about that? Do you talk to your wife? Do you talk to yourself? How do you recruit your son as top 5 in the country?
Well, first thing,
I need this sake for argument when I'm talking about.
first thing, this is what I'm looking for in a player. If they got that grit and that grind, just finished reading that book, but when it comes to recruiting somebody like my son, first of all, it's no different than and I tell all of our guys, like coaching you or being around you, mentoring the guys on our current roster is no different than than what I do for my son. He's going to get tough love. He's going to get there's going to be days that I have to put my arm around his shoulder and tell him that I love him and show him the way. The only thing that I know is truth. If I'm BSing my son, he can read right through me. And, I think that he'll want to play for me because I won't BS him. And I will tell him the truth. And he knows that I have his best interest at heart. But yeah, I do have to go through the mom. I have to treat her right. I have to, keep the refrigerator stocked because he's, eating me out of house and home. But more importantly, is just showing them that love and that support that I'll always have for him. And like I said, it'll be no different than what I have for our guys. And here's the truth. Some guys are going to say, Coach, you're too hard on me. But all I care about is, did you get your degree because I was too hard on you? Did you maximize yourself as a basketball player because I was too hard on you? That's all I care about. If somebody's going to get mad at me because I pushed them, then I'm doing my job. And, hopefully we all know we've been there before. I've had, my last year at Northwestern, I had a coach that pushed me harder than anybody other than my high school coach and my dad. And, my dad said, what do you want me to do? You want me to go talk to him? I'm like, no. I'm good. I'm good because I was raised that way. I was raised to have a tough coach. And to this day, I appreciate everything that he put me through, and everything that he made me work for. So if somebody's going to be upset with me, from the standpoint of them getting their degree and maximizing who they are as a person, I welcome that. But they also know that that's love too. That's the way that I show love. I don't want anybody falling through the cracks.
Director Rayford, I know you had a question for Coach Baldwin.
Really not a question. I just want to really, Pat, just commend.
You cut out a little bit, Cal.
Kyle,
For some reason, we can't hear you, Cal.
And I can feel it that he really want to say it. So man, you got to pull through for us, Kyle. What happened? Kyle, say it right now. What happened to your mute? I mean, your what's the name? Now I know how these verses, when they be doing these verses that I'll be looking at, these little R&B and hip hop verses, man. Now I see how they feel now, man. Kyle, man, forget that. What you want to say, we gonna wait. We patient.
Kyle, text me your response in the little chat.
Put it in the chat. Yep. But Coach Ball, I think Coach Keys has something to say as well. Coach Keys, you got something?
Yeah, I noticed that book you had put up that said grit.
Yeah.
My question is, how do you focus on mental toughness with players that don't got mental toughness? So you got half your team that got it, and then you got the other players like, man, I just don't got it. Like, how do you try to bring both together?
That's something that that I'm starting to do more as a head coach. That I got to find that in recruiting. I got to know that stuff while I'm recruiting a kid. So I'm talking with their teachers. Sometimes you find grit, with the teachers that you talk to or their counselors if they're going to do their homework or if they're not doing well in their homework, are they going to fight? Are they going to get through, an assignment that's tough or a test that's tough? That's where you find a little bit of grit, and obviously we talked to, I've talked to you about Kaleem and, a lot of you guys about your players and stuff like that. And you tell me, you're the one who tells me, hey, this is a tough dude. And, similar to other kids that we have on our team, I think that's the first thing that if I had to start back here over again is I'm finding those guys that want to grind, that have that fire, that intestinal fortitude, all of that stuff, that no matter what, and that will to win, no matter what, they're going to be, they're going to want to fight for you, and they're going to want to fight through adversity and all of that stuff. That's going to be really important for me. And, the other side of that is if you get enough people that, in your program that grind, that have that will and that fight and that grit to them, it's going to rub off onto, other kids in your program. And if it doesn't, then they're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And, we had some guys like that stuck out because, Tijon, you guys know Tijon and how he is and how he brings it. It's either you got it or you don't. And if you don't have it, follow me. And if you don't want to follow, then, that's going to be too bad because this train is moving on, so that's what we're doing a lot. We're doing this, it's called a TAP test that we, give to, a lot of our players. And that's where I get the grit from too, that book. Paid a little bit of money to get that whole system in order to understand each individual player that we have. And I got to coach every one of them differently from the standpoint of the mental side of it. So I have to tap into what helps them become the best version of themselves. I can't, I can coach Riley. How you can coach Tijon. You can drive him, you can push him, you can do whatever you want, and he'll still come back the next day ready to go. There's some kids that won't respond to that type of coaching. So you need to put your arm around them a little bit more. You need to praise them. You need to support them a little bit more and all that stuff. And then, hopefully they respond that way. So, I mean, there's different ways to get to it, but what you hope is that you have a full boatload of guys on your team that have that grit and that grind.
Coach, outstanding response. I'm just going to read to you what Director Rayford had to say, because he definitely wanted to get it out. I don't know what happened to him. I think they gave him the Freddie Riley thing. I'm not the Freddie Riley, but the Teddy Riley thing in regards to, like, if you guys keep up on those versus things. But Calvin Rayford wanted to say, just want to commend you on an outstanding job hanging the culture of UWM and giving our kids a chance to be student athletes. I mean, man. And then Director Dancer said in the chat also, he wanted to say in the chat that powerful statement. If you're mad at me pushing you, then I've done my job. So today, man, you're dropping jewels for us today, man. And like I said, we're not those coaches that's going to sit here and think like we know it all, man. Like, my hat's off to Coach Riley even building this bridge together to getting you a part of our meeting. So we're going to allow you to actually take a part in, like, asking us, the needs and the things that we can offer for you, because a lot of times within our community, it looks like people are just like, all right, we want you to do this, we want you to do that, but this isn't going to be an association that's geared to be like, that's not what we're about. We definitely want to mend the bridges within our community in regards to getting good holistic student athletes an opportunity of development. So anything, Director Riley got a question before you answer that question, Coach Baldwin, but man, shoot away in regards to what you need from the association. But Director Riley, go ahead.
it kind of go right into that, VP Joseph. Coach, like I know the summer leagues that you host at the college, is that an important or integral part in being able to evaluate the home talent, knowing that these guys from AAU travel a lot, and you be able to get to see those tendencies, those mind states, that grit that you say, is that more important, like especially like a 2-star athlete, a 3-star athlete that's under the radar that may not get that hype or whatever, getting them down on the campus, maybe is get to see some practices like the coaches bringing them in, like I used to do Tijon and them, or bring Jonte and detailing them down to the practices. Is that important? And if it is, how open is that? Well, I know the answer to that, but I want you to share that with the other coaches, how important that is to get those kids down into the practices or to the games or into the camps to be able to see something like that.
No, I think it's really important that we have kids come in on campus, because first of all, probably to be honest with you, there's some kids in Milwaukee that had never stepped foot on campus at the university. So when they, maybe they feel like, maybe that's not something that they'll ever get to, so it's important that we do get some of those kids on campus, that they can see, there's always an avenue, to get where you want to be. And, we want to foster that. We want to help them out in so many different ways, whether it's coming in and playing open gym with our guys, whether it's coming in to watch a practice, or certainly getting down to Panther Arena to watching a game. That's really important to us. And as much as we feel like they may get something from me or from our staff or our players, we're getting something from them. I'm getting an opportunity to learn about a lot of these kids that come on campus and check us out. And to be honest with you, when I first started recruiting Kaleem, you guys know Kaleem was getting, he was very popular, very good player when he was young, and probably thought about, similar to a lot of other kids, that man, I want to get out, I want to go big time and all that stuff. And the thing that I say is, make every place your big time. It doesn't matter where you go. And if you can go to some place and put your stake in that place, and maybe hang up get your number up in the arena and the rafters and all that stuff, that's your big time. And I say the same thing as a coach, but that's really important, getting those kids over to practice. But at the same time, it's easy. Just call me. Hey, I got a couple kids. I want to show them your practice, and give them an understanding of what a college practice looks like. And for me, it's not trying to put on a show. I got to get our guys better. I'm going to coach the way that I see with our group that we have, that I have to do, and I have to prepare that way during that day. But I want as many kids as we can to come on campus and see what it's all about. I want to talk to them about the academics. And here's the thing that I always say, and I'm not a disruptor or discourager of anybody's dream. I want Kaleem to try to make the pros. I want Tijon to fight for the pros. If somebody's telling me that they want to be a pro, that means they're going to try to work hard for it. And they're going to allow me to coach them. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I can put you there or you're going to get there, because it's a hard road. And I think everybody on this panel, you guys understand that. That's a hard road to get to. But when I get you here on campus, I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. And if you want to try to work to be a pro, that means you're going to work every single day. That means you're going to eat the right way, the way a pro would. You're going to conduct yourself the way a pro would in order to try to get there. And there have been a number of players in this league that have gone to the pros. Gordon Hayward. There's other guys that, he didn't have anything coming before he went to Butler. There was a kid at Cleveland State that played for the Miami Heat that he had Division II, Division III offers before going to Cleveland State and then ending up in the pros. So there's going to be avenues for certain guys, and half of that for me though is, let's get them on campus. Let's show them what a work ethic is. Let's show them what we do, meet with all of our people, meet with our academic advisors so they understand, this is a full, it's almost like a full-time job when they get here on campus because, the academics, the basketball, the weights, all that stuff, there's really not much time for anything else.
Thank you. That actually like goes into a good transition to what I want to ask you, man, and then definitely ask us. And then if the president has anything, of course, that he needs to ask you, Coach Baldwin, he can ask you. But I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna let the elephant out the room, man. I mean, I'm a high school coach. I had the luxury of winning a state championship 3 years ago, but I need to know what Pat Jr. is doing in his workouts. I just want to know just not like one of his like major workouts when you bringing in these people. When you bringing in these people that we probably don't have access to. I just need to know. I need to know a minor workout for Pat Jr. Are you able to tell us that like like one of his just very fine-tuned workouts in regards to like what he does that's really minimal. So because there's a lot of kids that's probably gonna listen to this. We need to know what does he do minimal to be a top-rated guard in the country.
And I'll tell this with everybody that man, I have footage from when he was little, and I probably was. I didn't think that he would. I don't think anybody goes in thinking that your kid will get to this level. You hope, but most importantly, you work with them. So it's been almost an everyday process for him. For first of all, him understanding who he is and what he needs to do in order to be successful. And part of it is that grit and that work ethic that you have to have. I think he has a work ethic, first of all, and a love for the game that he wants to be in there. That's the easiest thing for me. If you want to be in there, then it's going to be easy to coach you and tell you, hey, do this move or work on this, and he loves it. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that he's not asking me, Dad, let's get to the gym. I mean, maybe it's 5:30 in the morning, Dad, let's get to the gym. Let's do this. 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, let's get to the gym. So there's a work ethic. But one of the things that, I told him from a very early age, first of all, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a purpose in what you're doing. If you're going to the gym and you're just, messing around and not knowing what why you're shooting and why you're shooting this way, your footwork, your ball, what you're going to be doing with that, then you're just wasting your time in the gym if you don't have a purpose. Then the other side of that, I just talked to him about keeping it simple. I think there's so many ball handling, drop the cone, throw the tennis ball, all that stuff. But if you're going to come off a ball screen, I'm going to set up like I'm the screener. You're going to have to work on hedging. If somebody goes under the screen, you got to shoot the ball. If they try to, if they're trying to jump out on, on a hard head, you got to split it. If they, you can reject, you can do it. I mean, there's so many things that in keeping it simple, that that's just part of the game. The other thing is just being consistent, and he does the same thing pretty much every single time he gets out onto the floor. There's some things that we tweak, and there are times that he'll go into and this is how I think he's smart. He'll go into a workout, hey, Dad, I wasn't doing this the right way, or I saw this, or I did this in a game, and I needed to work on this. Maybe I got stripped or something happened. I need to go work on this. So he goes into, like I said, the purpose. He goes into a workout knowing what he wants to work on as well. And I've got to the point where I don't have to, let's go, hey, let's, do all that stuff. Now it's just watching and making sure he's doing the right thing. But, in a workout like we did today, the first thing we did was elbow to elbow. And, one of the things that we did was elbow to elbow. And then we went wing to corner, and then we went wing to corner to the other side. Then I had him working same hand, same leg finishes at the rim. And, just to get him warmed up and loosened up. And then I told him we're going to do a lot of finishes today around the basket, whether it's catching on the wing and then attacking the elbow. Somebody's cutting them off, and then he's spinning and getting to the rim. As long as he can do that. He can get to the, from the elbow, he can do that in one step and get to the rim and dunk. So we worked on that today. We worked on coming off of ball screens. And whether it was getting a shot at the elbow, shooting a three, somebody going underneath. We worked on that on both sides. We worked on flat ball screens today, coming off and shooting. And then, he had to go. One of the last things that we did is he had to go elbow to elbow, but at the three, NBA three, but he had to make 9 of 10 before he can get out of it. So he was gassed, but he was pretty much getting it. He was almost 8 of 10 at some points. He was 8 of 10 probably 3 or 4 different times. There were times that he was 8 of 9 and missed his last one, so he had to go right back and finish on that side again. So we went elbow to elbow at the 3-point line, wing to corner, 3-point. He had to do 9 of 10, and he had to do it on the other side as well. And the last thing he does is kind of a cool down, but it's just form shooting, but off movement, off of a catch and pivot, off of a dribble pivot shot. Then it's a shot fake or catch, shot fake guy goes by him, then he's shooting it. So he, that was kind of the close, but it was real simple, nothing too complicated, but it works for him, and it's all moves that he does in a game. And a lot of things that we're doing right now is just off the move, dribbles off the move and making plays like that.
That's exactly what we needed to hear. I know Director Rowley, before you tap into questions for us, Coach, Director Rowley wanted to know, like not want to know, but a message that you have in regards to social media for players in regards to who you're recruiting, or players just want to receive opportunities. I think as an association, they look at us as a lot of times as coaches, and they look at us as like, those father figures and those mother figures that, man, they just saying that because they actually supposed to say that. But somebody on the outside looking in, do you look at social media from a college standpoint as being an instrumental fact of how you recruit an athlete?
Absolutely. And, obviously you want to get to know a kid and you want to know what's fact and fiction with, with what they post on social media. But there was a kid that I've known for like 4 years, and he was on social media. The first thing he's doing is basically every single, I'm into fashion, but every single time he posts something, it's about a new hairstyle that he has. So I'm thinking, is he more concerned about his hairstyle? Is he trying to get better at hooping? Does he care about that? And then if it's not his hair, it's who's this girl that he's tweeting about? And so I'm looking at that. Is he more concerned about that? More than even retweeting is what he's retweeting too. Is he retweeting somebody that, is doing things and saying things that, pretty much is not a part of what I want in our program. So I'll look at that, and it caused me to pass on a kid that I've known for a long time, even through, I had to be honest with, like, listen, there's some things that are going on that I think that maybe we could change you. And we got some good men on our staff. Maybe we can change you, but I don't know if you're going to be ready from day one, to get, to hit this ground running with us, and you got 2 years left. So I had to pass on him because I didn't think he was the right fit for our program. And, that's a hard thing to do because I always feel like I can reform and change and help a kid that way. But, after talking with him, and this is the last thing that got me about him, is he said, man, I hate all these college coaches calling me and I'm sick of this. Like, really? I mean, there's some guys out here that wish they had some college coaches calling them. And there's some guys out here that wish that, you know, somebody would show them that attention that they would need, and they'd take your spot gladly. So I'm going to say, so what I said to that is, what's going to happen when we're in January and we have a week of hard practices, and you're going to be saying, man, I'm sick of Coach Baldwin in these practices. I'm sick of getting into the gym and having to shoot. That's what I'm thinking about. So definitely social media can turn me off, and hurt you in many ways.
Well, that kind of concludes the questions that we have for you, Coach Baldwin. And again, I can't even uh, really put it into words how we are appreciative in regards to association that you joined our crew, because our mission is really strong in regards to getting basketball better on the girls and boys side for our city, and how we can collaborate and be able to, connect the dots to do this, and kind of carry out our vision and mission. So and this is your time for questions for us, if you have any questions for us.
Well, I'll go back to what Calvin said and his comment. And as we all know as coaches, that a lot of times what you try to do may not be the most popular thing, and trying to change a culture, trying to get kids to understand to do things the right way. Sometimes you're going to get a lot of resistance, and we have resistance as coaches from players, and we all know that. We say this is for your best interest. This is for your future. I'm telling you now because this is what's going to happen to you. And, so we're going to get a lot of resistance from that standpoint, but, I didn't want to change on what I felt was right, the way that you have to be in this program, and forget this program, just how you had to be as a person. You had to go to class. You have to be on time. You have to work hard. You have to grind. You have to do all that stuff in order to, be the best that you can be. And, there's some kids, like I said, that would resist that. But I'm not changing the way that I feel like you need to be at your core in order to be good. And that's, to me, that's in any program, But the thing that I definitely want to do, man, is, as much as I'm a basketball coach, man, I know that it's more important that I help you become a young man, than I am to, can you make that jumper? I do want you to make that jumper, because that's why we coach. But I also want you, when you're 40 years old, that some of the lessons that you learned from the Milwaukee program and what we did as a staff, to help you graduate and do all that stuff. I hope you can take that with you when you're 40 years old. I hope when you get married and have your kids that you can, give them all the things that we were able to give you, and some of those advice that you need. That's what I'm most concerned about. So just like I said, if you're upset with me and trying to help you become a man, then I've done my job. I'll probably start clapping for myself if you're upset with me. You know what I mean? But that's really important. So the thing I want to ask you guys, and the reason why I wanted to come on is like I told you on the onset, is I want to have kids from Milwaukee, represent UWM. I think this is your school. These kids, this is their school. I don't think Marquette, I think Wisconsin is that school. I think Milwaukee is that school. I want to go into Wisconsin and Marquette and beat those teams, with our homegrown kids. That's what I want to do. And, I want to be puffy chest when I'm walking out of there and beating Marquette, because they'll never come to Panther Arena. The Badgers will never come to Panther Arena again. So that's what I want to do. But what can I do? What can our staff do more to help you guys facilitate getting the kids that should be here?
I would like to let the board members answer and trickle down in regards to start with Riley and Nelson and Rob and all y'all. What can we do?
Well, Coach, I think what we talked about was the main thing. You allowing us to come in. You got an open arm service. You embracing us. And I think that's the biggest thing, when kids know that you, as an African-American male yourself, and you understand their background, their struggles, and you willing to be open to assist them in any way you can to help them achieve whatever goal there is, I think that right there starts it all. And I love what you're doing. You know, we talk all the time. And I love the open door policy that you have with our coaches, the AAU, the players. And I think you continue to do that and be your face being seen more like you're doing getting out here. I think you're going to bring you're going to continue to change this culture like you're doing, and it's going to broaden things big for UWM. It's going to get to a point where you are going to take over, and you're going to be bigger than Wisconsin. You're going to be bigger than Marquette, especially down in the city. So, Coach, kudos to you, and keep doing what you're doing. We're behind you all the way.
No, I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Calvin Raver said he agreed. Fred, you said something, Ray? Can you say something right now? Oh, you can't say nothing yet, man. All right, man. Duro, anybody else? Smith, anybody else?
I totally agree.
Doc.
Yes. I totally agree with Coach Riley. Just keep modeling those kids you got with Tijan and Kaleem, and we're gonna use them kids for examples to help recruit towards your school. I think you're doing a really heck of a job. You always kept it 100 with me. You never sugarcoat anything of what you was gonna do. So, like I said, I love what you're doing, and we definitely gonna stay. I'm definitely gonna stay on board with you as well.
No, I appreciate that, and here's it was funny when you know, I was bringing Dame Lillard on, and you know, we go back, and I was trying to get his AAU coach on as well, but it was tough to get him on too. He had to work. But you know, the thing that, you know, Dame said that struck with me is he said, Coach, he said, all your head coach had to do was tell me that day, because we went in there, it was like 110 degrees in his gym in Oakland, and he was going full court. I mean, Calvin, you probably done this, but he was going full court with 3 other guys, and my head coach was fixed on another dude named Kwame Vaughn. And I was telling Coach, like, listen, I said, this is the toughest dude in the business right here. I said, we need to bring him on. He said, Coach, if he would have said, if he would have offered me right there, I would have left Oakland and came to Chicago, you know, right at the moment. And Kaleem talked about, you know, how Lillard is his favorite player, and you know, just what he's done, and kind of mirrors him. And Lillard told a story about separation and how his, you know, how you know, when Lillard was growing up, he had a group of friends, but some of those friends decided to go left, and he decided to stay right, and it led him to where he is now. And you know, Kaleem was talking about that, and shoot, we all know it, man. We know where, you know, where our bread is buttered, and we have our boys. You know, I had some of my best friends end up in prison. You guys know the story, and at the same time, if you have those right friends that say, man, get away from here. I know I'm not right. I'm not going to let you go down that path and be wrong. You know, so, you know, that's what Kaleem, I think, was getting out of that answer and from that talk with Dame, is that he knows that even though I'm staying at home, there's going to be some times that I have to be like, man, I'm doing my thing. You guys are doing yours. I'm trying to better my future here. And that's what my job is. My job is to, hopefully, if it doesn't come from me, it can come from somebody on our staff or somebody like Dame Lillard that can come on, and a lot of the things that you've been saying to him probably now just all came to his head right there. Like, man, well, wait a minute, he's saying this now. He did that. Maybe I can do the same thing. You know, so I'm going to still need you to, you know, put your arms around them, have that tough love, and, you know, ways that maybe I don't reach them because I hadn't known them as long as you have. You know, I'll still need you with Kaleem, and because I think that he's, you know, I think he has a chance, and, you know, we just need to get that big body. He can't be bigger than me. You know what I mean? You know, we just got to get him in shape and ready to go, and because he has some talent, just needs to come out even more.
one thing I want to say, Coach, if you can, give us the ties to some of the girls program at UWM as well, because we definitely not gender biased in regards to our association, like, because we got some talent here in regards to the girls in the city and the surrounding areas, but I don't think we have the accurate amount of like exclusive like people that's looking at these girls. So man, just let us know, like, I mean, after this call or whatever, if you can text Coach Riley, text me anything in regards to we can have the UWM girls coach on as well, because we feel like it's some girls around here that deserve the opportunity as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I'm an advocate for Coach Kyle on the women's side. It was funny when I went to go see Kaleem and Darius play, and what's the young lady that's at where's she at? That was big time there at MAS.
Virginia.
Yeah, she's at Virginia. And when I hadn't known about her, so I was watching her at halftime of the boys' game. It wasn't even, she was just out on the court just playing around, messing around, and she's shooting, 30-footers and making it and dribbling. I was like, man, I got on my phone not knowing who she was. I was like, Coach Kyle, you need to come over here and see this halftime show. So I definitely want to help out any way I can on the women's side too with Coach Kyle and we always talk about different things. I mean, if she's out on the road, she'll tell me about players. So I'll definitely do the same thing and because I know there's some hoopers too on the women's side too.
Yeah, Coach. The thing with the what we can do as an organization to assist you brought it up earlier about starting at an early age. So maybe, especially when we're doing our camps, we make sure the academic piece is brought to the forefront, because these kids, they worry about the academics junior year of high school, when they should have been worrying about it coming in freshman year, and that stalls some of them out. And then they only thinking basketball, not thinking what they want to major in, and possibly maybe that should lead you to the proper high school, because they have those type of tracks still there. That's one thing we don't offer in the city right now, which stalls some of our kids out as well, as making them more well-rounded athletes. So we will, I know that's going to be one thing that we will jump on as far as the education and the aspirations for our children to be more than a basketball player, because you have to be extremely talented to make it to the professional ranks, but knowing that's not the end of the road for you. You can be a professional in something else and have so much happiness for that. And on the girl side, it's a delicate situation with the city of Milwaukee and the women's program before you got here, that there probably needs to be a sit down with Coach, because some things happened, transpired, and we only got one side of the story, but we watched, and what we saw we didn't like, what we heard we didn't like. And so if you could, through the back channel, possibly get that message to her that it is some hurt feelings here in the city from things she has said and things she has done that we've all paid attention to, that our girls didn't feel like they were appreciated or welcome down there, as opposed to other African American girls from other places.
I hear you.
So we would appreciate that on the girl side, just to drop that gem to her. And she knows, though. She knows how to get in contact with me and all that stuff, that we can have that sit down with her in the association, because too much talent has gotten out of here that really should have stayed, and they could have been big fish in our pond right here, and we could have did some great things.
Yeah, no, I definitely will pass it along to her and have her reach out to you guys. I think that's, like I said, on our side, on the women's side, I think it's really important that we try to keep our people home, and I think that's really important. I think that's really important. So I'll definitely reach out to her about that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Baldwin, this is Rob. I think one of the things that I think is important is that we kind of make sure that the kids kind of know it's real, so to speak. So being able to, like you said, maybe go down there, check out a practice to really show, hey, this is how you got to work. Some of the comments that you kind of told to us today, we'll definitely share with them those same things as well. But then also, like, it's a really interesting thing when I was over at Washington with Coach Riley. He did some of those interesting because we had a pretty good team that year, and we had kids saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Duke. I'm gonna go here," and really hadn't had any offers, and they're hadn't did what they needed to do in the classroom to qualify. So he actually reached out. I forgot who was the coach at that time, the coach before you, and he basically sent in their transcript to him, and he said, "Hey, let me know if these guys qualify." So they did a little breakdown and all that stuff, and he sent it back to us. And we had a meeting with all the players. I don't know if you remember that, Riley, but we had a meeting with all the players and just said, "Hey, look, you're about this far off from qualifying. You're from this far. You do qualify, but you know what I mean. You still got to do some other little things to be on their radar and different stuff like that." So we try to utilize that to let players know it's real, because they'll look at a highlight and they'll see the highlight and say, "I can do that," and knowing good and well they can't do that, because the kid can do that probably because he's 6'9" or 6'10" or with a 45-inch vertical or whatever, or put in the work or wasn't necessarily to do that part. So I think just piggybacking on what you were saying about where we can bring the kids and say, look, this is real stuff right here. You know what I mean? And not to mention also, when they say they want to be these superstars, they always mention Duke. They always mention UCLA and North Carolina. And we're like, you're 5'4" and you haven't made the varsity team as a junior yet. You know what I mean? So just kind of sharing with the ones that are serious. First of all, let them know it's real, and then let them know you can get to your purpose or your where you want to go, your goal, through UWM or through a mid-major type school, and go in there and handle your business and go from there. So.
I do want to say, Coach, I do want to say I was really, really just blown away. Like it just brought a warm feeling to my heart when I went to the game, and how you guys honored the former successful teams that made it really deep into the tournament. And those guys had homegrown products on there, and how y'all platformed them and gave them that spotlight and brought it back. And I saw the crowd that night. I think it's things like that, what you're doing. Like I said, keep doing what you're doing, brother. You know I love you, and I support you all the way. Those type of things, when those kids, those new, baby bloomers growing up, that next generation, they see that type of stuff. Those are the things the kids want to gravitate to and say, man, I want to be part of that. And I just want to commend you, like Cal said, and keep doing what you're doing, brother. I love the open door policy you have with us, and I love you, and I'm going to support you all the way to the end.
No, I appreciate that, man. And I'll always, if there's somebody that needs to be recognized, I'm going to do it. And I recognize that you guys have a tremendously hard job to do, because you can only do so much. You have them in your hallways and in your gym for however long. And then, when they go home, who knows what's waiting for them at home. And, that's probably some other things that we have to get into the social aspect of this whole thing, and socialism, and how it's created here in Milwaukee, and how we need to get through that. But any way that I can serve as as a bridge for them, and helping you guys out, if it's like you talked about, if it's coming to our practice, if it's coming to our study session, maybe it's just sitting down and talking with our academic advisors, so they understand all the things that our guys do on a daily basis. I get something every single day from our academic advisor on our guys. So I'll know from, I may get it at the end of the day from 9 o'clock. So I'll know, hey, I need to text somebody. They got some work they need to do tonight, and then, or in the morning when I get it, I can say before practice, hey, I need to see so-and-so before we get to practice so that he can complete this work. Or if it's between, before our meeting, we're getting ready to watch film, I'm sitting up there and I'm saying, hey, fellas, we need to attack this stuff academically. We need to get to work here. And, so there's many avenues that we can approach that. But I mean, that's the way that I want to do it. I always want to recognize our former players that are from the city, that really made Milwaukee who it is today. I'm not afraid of that. I understand there is a tradition here that they did some really, really great things before I even got here. And so, I'm not sitting here and acting like I'm God from that standpoint. How can I learn? And part of learning that for me is they had a lot of Milwaukee guys on the team, and that's what I want to do. I think when you play, for your home state, your hometown team, you got a greater investment, and you want to do a little bit more with it. And I tell our guys, invest, don't rent. Own, don't rent. Make sure that when you own something, you really put everything into it. When you rent it, you kind of like, this is not my spot anyway. But when you invest and you own and you make it your own place, you're gonna be careful with somebody trying to step on your carpet with their shoes on. You're gonna make them take it off. And that's the same thing I think of Panther Arena. When somebody comes into this building and this is your spot, you're gonna make them respect you and respect your spot.
I think that's an excellent segue to just closing this whole Zoom out, man. Like, I think I definitely appreciate everything you brought to the content of our association as the vice president, coach, and hopefully, I won't even say hopefully, but I know that we're going to be able to lock arms and bring our city together in regards to like bringing the girls and boys program where we're going to get them. It's our job. It's our obligation to get them ready when you get them. And then once we get them ready, like Coach Keys has done, Coach Rowley has done, like once you get them, and then it's going to be a smooth transition. And that's all you have provided for us. That's all the things you have provided for us today. So I appreciate that. President, you got anything to say?
I got something else before the president get going. There's some blue chippers in this town, man, that I need. Why does everybody else have to be good? Why does everybody else have to be good? I want to be good. I want good players.
Who you need, man? Who you need, man? Let us know.
Coach Riley knows.
Who you need? We can figure it out.
I know in my house, Coach Riley's had some in his house. Man, I need some of them dogs in here. So when I go to any place in this country or they come here, they know they in for some work. So I need some of them dogs.
hey, Coach Baldwin, we gonna have like 2 or 3 secret Zoom meetings, probably with about 3 or 4 of us, and we gonna figure it out there, right, Riley? We got you, man. We got you, and that's what the association is a part of, man. I think Donald Nelson has done an extravagant job of just his leadership and really like motivate me to be able to like do things like we've done today, to be like, man, this is our city. Let's take ownership of it, man. Let's take ownership of it, and let's get our kids to UWM.
Let's go.
What you think, Coach Baldwin?
Come on, let's get it done. Let's blow this roof off. All right. And
we on it, Coach. Tell T. McGee, tell Parham we coming. We gonna get them people over there for you.
No doubt.
No. Before we go though, T. McGee, let me tell you, man, I done ran on too many damn screens trying to guard T. McGee when I was in high school. Like he's at King, I was at Bayview. I was 99. He 99. I'm running off screens. I'm talking about dropping the left elbow, trying to get through screens because he was a shooter, closing out and doing it good. But no, man, you got the right people surrounded, man, and that's partial of what people don't understand. Like you got to get good people surrounded by you in regards to enforce change, and that's all I was about with the association. So if anybody watching this, I just had to get the right people surrounded first with me to enforce change, and I think Coach Baldwin, you did an excellent job with that. So anything we need to do, man, let us know.
No doubt about it. And I'm always around. I mean, you guys got my number. So anytime you need me for anything, if I need to get to your spot, let me know.
All right. President, what you got to say, man?
Coach Baldwin, we appreciate your time, appreciate your energy. We have a role model now to look at. It's been a while since, I speaking for myself and probably for the board of directors, that we felt a coach in the city was really genuinely worried about getting the children from the city to come to the city of Milwaukee's university. It is University of Wisconsin. at Milwaukee. I wish they just changed it to Milwaukee Panthers and take the University of Wisconsin out of it to make it a real urban university.
Take that
In
out
order
of
for it to be an urban university, we got to
Yeah.
have our kids there, you
Absolutely.
know, and playing for you and giving their all. So you said one thing that stuck out to me: make every play show big time, and you made us big time tonight. So on behalf of the City Coaches Association Board of Directors, thank you, Coach Baldwin. The CCA will be an ally, and we hope we can extend this great brotherhood, sisterhood, beginning of a partnership, mentorship, give and take in our pursuit of greatness in the city of Milwaukee, the state, nation, and the world. And good luck to you. Good luck to your family. Good luck to all your players and your staff, and stay healthy during this pandemic as long as it may last, and prayers and blessings.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, all of you. And again, let me know if there's anything that I can do for you, because there's nothing too big for me, man, for real. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. I'll be in. I could be in a park if you need me. It doesn't matter. You know, I drive by Silver Spring every single day, and you know, I drop off water over there to anybody who's playing over there. So, you know, this city, you may not realize it, but this city means a lot to me. And, you know, it's like my new home. So I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you,
We love
Coach.
you right back, man. We love you back, brother.
Appreciate you.
Okay, now.
I'm here for everybody on this call, the girls, boys too.
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
All right, Coach.